All right, let's head to the paper stands now. Let's see what the newspapers are saying this morning. What are the headlines? It will begin with the Nation newspaper. The Nation is saying Kerry is, the focus is on what Kerry has said. Mele Kerry, subsidy removed to stop Nigeria from bankruptcy. No payment by federal government since February. Okay, that's what Mele Kerry, the CEO of Group CEO of the NNPCL, is saying. Subsidy removed to stop Nigeria from bankruptcy. That's what the Nation newspaper has. And then from there, let's go to the Punch newspaper. Dangote PH refineries, others won't change fuel price. NNPCL is saying this. All right? The Punch newspaper is saying, the Punch newspaper, Dangote PH refineries, others won't change fuel price. Dangote refinery, Port Harcourt refineries, and others will not change fuel price. That's what the NNPCL is saying here. All right, that's what the Punch has. And then let's move on to the Blueprint. The Blueprint newspaper is talking about subsidy crisis. Crush all oil thieves. Tinubu orders service chiefs. Crush oil thieves. Tinubu orders service chiefs. And that's on the Blueprint newspaper. Once again, working at cross purposes and direct palliatives for Nigerians. One refinery to function this year, says Kerry. And the Clark-led Pandef backs federal government and queries the timing. Okay, all this on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. This Nigeria is next. This Nigeria says, crush oil thieves. Tinubu mandates service chiefs. Crush oil thieves. Tinubu mandates service chiefs. Warns against working at cross purposes and charges security heads to come up with a blueprint to change architecture. The military kills 66 and nabbed 280 terrorists in 2 weeks. Okay, all right. This is Nigeria. Daily Trust is the next one we're looking at now. Tinubu gives service chiefs new security template. Tinubu gives security chiefs new security template. And it warns against interagency rivalry. It says security reforms coming and orders immediate end to oil theft. These are some of the stories on the front page of the Daily Trust. Kemi.
Right, and the directive by the president to the security chiefs is also the big story on the Daily Independent. He says, draw up fresh blueprint. Tinubu charges security chiefs. That's the lead story on the Daily Independent. Next is Daily Sun. President Tinubu talks tough to service chiefs, directs them to provide adequate security measures. Of course, Daily Sun there still talking about the president's latest directive. Nature News is towing a different line, though surprising or not surprising. Subsidy removal is what it's leading with. Petrol price will come down. Well, that's from the head of the NNPCL, Mele Kyari, is being quoted there. First News, no going back on fuel subsidy removal. That's according to the NNPCL. No going back on fuel subsidy removal. That's on First News. And that's also the big story on the leadership. No going back on fuel subsidy removal. That's according to the NNPCL. Finally is the Nigerian News Direct. Indiscriminate profit. It is natural for marketers to hike prices. Nigerian News Direct there saying it on indiscriminate profit. It is natural for marketers to hike prices. That's also attributed to Mele Kyari of the NNPCL. Mike.
All right. This story is on the front page where the president is giving marching orders to the security agents or agencies to crush oil thieves and also mandating them to refrain from working at cross purposes is something that Nigerians have been talking about. In fact, this morning, radio stations and TV stations are discussing this issue, as well as giving opportunity for Nigerians to speak and air their minds regarding some of these things. Now, one would say it is very normal that when you have a new sheriff in town, he will give orders, he will give instructions, he will give mandate of different kinds. We have also seen it in the past, so it's not new. How different this is going to be remains what Nigerians hope to see. Now, Nigerians, in fact, some people have started saying we need to change the service chiefs already. How that is going to change the narrative around insecurity still remains to be seen when it comes to that aspect of things. I wonder what you think of that, though.
Right. The first thing that came to my mind is, it's still the same crop of leaders of this, highly important and sensitive agencies. So, and these are the same people who were regularly meeting with the former president. So naturally, one would, the first thought, it would be natural for anyone to say, okay, so the fresh blueprint that the president desires now, how is it going to work? But, it remains to be seen, really. You've said, that's the big question. It remains to be seen right now. But of course, this is an obvious, directive. Everyone knows, and that's the the highest burden now on his mind. Of course, he and the other presidential candidates spoke about their plans, to ramp up insecurity across the country. So naturally, it's understandable that this would also be, topmost on his mind now among the first duties that he has taken since he assumed office. So the coming days should give us a sense of direction now on how this service chiefs would work, how soon the president may need to, change the identities, the leadership across board now. We still do not know, but Nigerians are unified on, the need for, more communication. I'm looking forward. Of course, we spoke about fuel subsidy issues, and I can't wait to hear what next the president will say on the issue of fuel subsidy. Insecurity too I'm looking forward, to the coming days. The sense of direction from the president at the end of all these critical meetings that he's been having. Would like to get to hear from the president firsthand.
We from various reports that we hear. We know that when it comes to all of these things going on, the DSS that works secretly to gather information has so much information about everything that is going on across the country, from insecurity to banditry to oil thieves or oil theft, as the case may be. All of these things, we understand DSS has a plethora of information regarding all of these, including people who are involved in it and so on. So sometimes it remains the order to go ahead and so on. But the point there is, of course, security is very a complex issue sometimes, where you can't just, it's not a black and white thing where you just, it's not in black and white, you just write and then take off. There are lots of things involved. You're having a lead, you need to complete it to the end to know what other things are connected to that lead, and as the case may be. So it makes it more complex and complicated. But however, how the commander-in-chief is going to work with some of these security or intel that the security agents get and bring to him remains the issue. Recall under former President Buhari, when reports came out that he gave marching orders to one-time Inspector General of Police to relocate to a certain place that is troubled. The Inspector General of Police didn't go there, and he said he didn't know that he didn't go there. Things like that. But we hope that this time things will be different, where there is proactivity. Nigerians just want there to be security so they can go about their normal business on a daily basis.
We hope the security chiefs will be more forthcoming in ideas, not just ideas now, but workability, because every region has its own security challenges, banditry, various dimensions of insecurity. And the need to be proactive, as you say, is also, very, very paramount, as well as the interagency collaboration that the president harped on. And that's instructive when you look at the early part of the week. Earlier in the week, we saw what happened between the AFCC and the DSS, how the AFCC was shut out of its offices on an issue regarding building that they both share. And the president had to also wade into the matter, directing that the EFCC's work be unhindered. Any issues you both are having should be settled amicably. So that issue of interagency collaboration, which we have seen erupt over the years, over the time, whilst they're all doing their work, I think that also needs to be stressed.